Okay, okay. Hi, I'm Darren Kiripatwa, and this is.
I'm Robin Neal.
Okay, Alan, you wanted to know amazing stories about sharing. So this is way cool. So here I am. I'm in Boston. I'm at the Building Learning Communities Conference. We just saw this really great keynote, and then Robin walks over to me. Okay, and well, I'm going to let him talk because that's
Sure.
the amazing story. So,
And I'm going to talk to you.
Okay,
so,
that's fine.
Because we've got the video
absolutely.
there, but if we're looking there, that's
100%.
So, Darren, what I'm saying is that about 3 or 4 years ago, I wanted to learn more about wikis. I went to a conference in Dusseldorf, Germany. I was living in Germany then, and learned about what it was, what a wiki was. It's like, okay, I got my brain around that, but not about how I'm going to use it. I wanted to think, how am I going to use this? And I don't remember how, but I stumbled across your blog, A Difference, and on it, where you went through how you're using wikis to do a traditional lesson like solution manuals in your calculus class. And just, it really cracked open my skull and illustrated for me how I could use something like a wiki at a really, in a way to do something I'm already doing in my class, but doing it more effectively. So I set up a wiki, never done it before, set it up quickly. This is a week before I had to actually go to the Netherlands with another group of students, and I was going to be gone that whole week and lose an entire week with my IB English students, which is really critical when you're preparing them for the exam. It was only in about 3 weeks. Right, at that level I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I set up a wiki where I was having them do some specific analysis of Keats's poetry, setting them up for this oral exam that they were taking in 3 weeks' time. And I could track, and I broke them into poems and broke them into groups, and they had to go into deep critical analysis of the poems, where they're making links in different pages and those kind of things and getting at what these different symbols mean. I could add my comments, and I had set it up to where after a few days of them doing it together, they were looking at each other's, and they were all building up on these different poems. So if you had one poem, the next day they would go in, and another group would look and add, and I, of course, because of the wiki and the history, I could see exactly who was doing what, who had sabotaged whom. I had a few situations where students had changed people's names to Power Rangers and stupid stuff like that, and I sent that kid an email and said, cut it out. I need you to be focused and ready for this.
How did he react?
He cut it out, he stopped, and he said he apologized, and his next day, his comments were much deeper, much more insightful, because he knew that I was there and that I could control it. So even though I wasn't there, I was able to do wikis that way. And I just wanted to say thanks for that, because it was you taking the time to specifically lay out how you did it and what your thinking was behind it, that I, across the pond saw it and said, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do something like that. And of course, since then, I've used all kinds of different programs within my classes and all different kinds of tools. And I continue to come back and check your blog because it was so valuable. And I said, this person knows what he's talking about. And then, of course, I came to presentations when I came to this conference. I thought, I want to go see. So I've been to 2 of yours. Yeah, I've been to 2. Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Welcome.
That's fantastic.
And this is great.
This is a great story. Yeah,
I think this
absolutely.
So good. Yeah.
That's man. And now you're in Boston. You're working.
So I'm in
live
Boston.
Here.
Yeah, I live here and I work at a private school. It's just about 15 minutes by train from here. And we're continually doing things and thinking about how can we use technology in a way to not just use it, but to take what we do and allow students to do that in a more effective way. I was in. You closed one of your presentations yesterday where you said, hey look, I'm teaching calculus and I have 72 days to do it. We're not going to do this unless it has payoff, and I'm exactly the same way. And that I'm not interested in using it just to use these tools, but if we can further the curriculum, further the critical thinking, that's the big part.
It's got to be really grounded.
And turning it on the kids, turning it to them, where it's less teacher-centered and saying, you're working with each other and I can come in and I can tweak, I can add to, I can use what you've done at night and start class the next day with saying, look what so-and-so posted. That's such a brilliant point, and here's why, here's what they're doing. It's just opens
I gotta tell you, you just made the conference for me.
Nah, come on. That's so cool.
It's just like the best thing. Like, that's so cool. Anyways, Alan, I got one good story for you. Here it is. I hope that's good for you. Cheers.